Hello, this is Pat Walker, Mission Winners. We're doing a video overview of the ETFs. ARK Innovation's lagging right now, okay, and that fell on heavy volume. What's that tell us? The stocks that this ETF owns are kind of out of favor at this point in time. You could go in and find out what are their top 10 holdings and say, well, got to kind of be careful there. Biotechnology. In 1 second, it tells you, I ain't looking at any biotech stocks. There you go, done. Move on. That's power for you. Breakout, IBD breakout. This is a thin ETF, but what's it doing? Look at this. It's moving up. What does that tell you? The leading IBD stocks are acting okay. There you go. The trend is up. Cloud computing was acting great, but got spanked. Look at that. On Thursday, maybe losing some leadership. I'm not saying it's over, but that was some serious selling, and it's down to the 50-day. Market came back. I want you to think about this. The market came back Thursday and Friday of this week, and this thing didn't lift. There you go. Energy's hanging in there. Okay, that's something you could maybe look at. Energy stocks. Dow Jones Internet, kind of hanging in there. Little loose here, down on heavy volume. Needs to really push up here. You could go in and see what other leading holdings, but it's not a power situation at this point in time. IBD 50 fell on heavy volume, bounced back on less volume. Trend is still up, okay? Lost a little strength right here in the IBD 50 stocks. Something to know about. Gold miners starting to pick up a little bit. Look at that volume pick up here. Gold miners, look into those. Junior gold miners acting stronger. You can go in and find out their top 10 holdings. How long does that take? Oh gosh, that must take 30 seconds to do. And then you know more than most. There you go. Gold. Look at that. That's shiny, isn't it? There you go. Check into the gold stocks. And it was telling you this. This is why we do this. We talked about it last week. This is last week. See that? Look at how it was picking up. And it does this. There you go. It was telling you. There we go. Cybersecurity's hanging in okay. That's fine. It's trending up. Biotech. It's another biotech ETF. Now you've really built a case of saying, I'm not messing with those. There you go. That's power for you. Online retail's lagging. Nothing special with online retailing. North American Technology's hanging in, but got hit hard on Thursday. Hard. And really didn't recover yesterday, Friday. See that? Closed near the lows. Not a lot of power in tech with that. Dow Jones Medicine, hanging in. That's fine. Something to look into. Mid-cap stocks, doing pretty good. Look at that. There's another one we're going to look at in just a second. But it tells you, and it's told you back here, hey, you can be looking at some mid-cap stocks. Home builders. Look at the leadership here. And it's been leading the last couple of weeks. Check into the home builders. This doesn't look too bad, does it? There you go. IWM, another small cap ETF. Look at this. Entry right there. Look at the volume. Look at the base. Clean and simple base. Volume surge through pivot. Wash, rinse, repeat. There you go. Nothing fancy. Price and volume talks. People talk with their mouths and vote with their pocketbooks. I've said that years at the IBD meetup. I was a co-leader. They voted. There you go. Small cap stocks. Airlines kind of chopping around. Nothing lifted off, but then it took back. Okay. Nothing real power at this point in time. Regional banks hanging in there. We'd like to see that. Mid cap. I showed you small cap. Here's mid cap. Here you go. Watch this. There's small cap. Here's mid cap. And I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. Hey, maybe the rally's spreading out. The smaller cap and mid cap stocks are picking up a bit. Oil services, no real leadership at this point in time. Online retail, no real leadership at this time. Software was really strong, but it's lagging at this point in time. Not a lot of power. NASDAQ 100 picking up. Look at this. I mean, it's starting to pick up again. Fell on pretty heavy volume on Wednesday, okay? And Tuesday and Wednesday, and bounced back on less volume. Needs to start showing a little bit more leadership. Same thing's true with QQQ. Retailing, hanging in. Cloud computing, look at that. Pretty good. I think that's great. Cloud computing stocks, and there's the ticker symbol, SKYY. I like that. Silver, starting to pick up. It's got resistance at the 200-day. It's been lagging. Not a lot of power there yet. Steel's lagging. Leave it alone. Literally 1 second. There's nothing to do with it. Forget it. Done. Semiconductors. On the other hand, look at this. What has this been saying? Hey, you might want to look at some semiconductor stocks. Oh, yes. Have we? Well, watch this. We're going to go back to SMH in a minute, okay? Have we looked at any semiconductor stocks? How about this one right here? There's a career. See this? But I didn't even have to look at, this is a MAXLIST stock. I didn't have to look at the ETFs. We just saw this and said, yeah, this is clean and simple. High or low here, add on here. Here you go. Let her work. Let's move on, shall we? There's SMH back to it. But you can see systematizing helps. Another one. Moving up. Direxing ETF. Spiders hanging in. Nice to see. Here's a classic case where you don't get all twisted with the news. Just watch what's happening. Watch what's happening in this chart. Leveraged ETF, SSO, hanging in, fine. Solar's hanging in. Look at that. That's nice to see, isn't it? What was it telling you back here? Hey, you might want to look at some solar stocks. There you go. Small cap, the small cap leveraged ETF, strong. And it was strong, saying, hey, you might want to look into some small cap stocks. There you go. It was telling you, this baby ain't falling. It seems okay. Maybe if it takes out that top there, those tops right there. You see this? I'll do something for you. Remember this, and I say this a lot at Mission Winners. Clean and simple pays the best. Why? Think about it. Be pragmatic. Look for simple chart patterns everybody can see. Why? If they can see it, does it not increase the potential that they're going to buy also? There you go. Uranium, hanging in there. You'd have to check and see what they own. Oil services, or oil, excuse me, hanging in there, not bad. Aerospace and defense, what's it tell you? Leave me alone. Look at this bar right here. Look at the selling volume on that. Market rallied the end of the week, and this fell. Move on. There's power for you. Home builders, acts fine. Here's a classic case. Oh, it's the end of the world in the U.S. economy. And by the way, I'm not getting political here, okay? Keep politics. I encourage you all, keep politics out of your thought processes in stock investing. Monitor what's going on, okay? It will really help you. And that is not an endorsement or a disendorsement of the administration. I had nothing to do with any of that. I'm just looking at the charts. Materials. Good. Look at that trend. Look at the trend up the ADMA. I'll make that bigger for you. Isn't that nice? Let's continue onward. We'll finish this up. Communications is lagging. Be careful with that. Energy, another energy ETFs, hanging in fine. Good to see. Financials, if things are really bad, financials will get spanked. And they're not right now. They're hanging in. Good to see. Industrials, fine. You can see technology. That's why we've been focusing on technology. Look at this. I mean, folks, that's power. Stick with technology. Watch this. You'll like this. Here's QQQ. That's pretty good. And then you go back to technology. Big chunk of QQQ, NASDAQ 100. And that's why, yeah, we're involved with technology. Got it. Consumer staples is hanging in there. Utilities are lagging, just kind of an indicator of what's going on. Consumer discretionary. The consumer. And this is discretionary spending, okay? Stuff that you don't really need. And look what it's doing. It's hanging in fine. This has been good. Watch this. This has been good for a while. Look at all this trend. And again, this is why you don't get wrapped up in the headlines. Metals and mining hanging in there. Been hanging in there. That's good to see. Oil and gas hanging in there. Good to see. Retail. There's another one. Retail hanging in. Software, technology hanging in. So now let's go to the MAXLIST and see what's going on. First one's Apple. Pushed off here the 50-day. Lifted up today on a pickup in volume. Perhaps it'll get ahead of steam and start to run. But there's a ton of overhead. It is a low-level cup with handle. The one plus is this. Good volume here. And there's another point. People say, that's a red bar. That's an ugly bar. I'd like to show you something that we do at my Mission Winners. Note how it closed on that bar. It closed almost at the highs of the day. They didn't sell it. They supported it. There you go. Things to look at. These are the things. And it's not fancy. It's just analyzing price and volume. The next one's Amazon. Amazon starts to lift. Starting to lift up again. Okay, some folks own it from down lower, which is great. Started to bounce off the ADMA. Slight volume pickup. One thing I'll say though, this is a little choppy, okay? These things are a little choppy right now. They're not really clean and simple base entries, all right? Just for what it's worth. BABA needs to take this out right there. However, BABA is way below a falling 200-day. Be careful with that. Tons, I want to show you this. Tons of overhead supply here, folks. Tons. Be cognizant of that. BIDU, similar situation. You can say, oh, it's starting to pick up a little bit. That's the 200-day, the falling 200-day. Lots of overhead supply. Got to be careful with that with BABA and BIDU. Continue onward. Meta or Facebook, whatever you want to call it. I think I'll always call it Facebook. Anyway, fell down, rallied, fell down, coming back. What does it need to do? It needs to push through the 50-day on heavy volume. Had a decent day today, but it needs to really show some tremendous power through here. And please note, this is important. All these people that bought it up here, that's called overhead supply. And as it starts to rally, those people that own it up here, as it gets closer to price, could sell. And again, that's overhead supply. Be aware of that, right? Google. Google had a good igniting bar here. It's just chopping around here a little bit. Maybe it'll start to lift off. This is not really clean and simple, all right? What's the one saving grace? It rallied on decent volume and fell on less. There you go. Here's the weekly. And you can see the weekly looks a little better. I always refer to daily and weekly. So there we go. Let's continue onwards. Again, this is the MAXLIST. I love these stocks. Continue onwards. Goldman Sachs. Forming a cup and a handle here, and then it failed miserably, and it's just chopping around. There's really nothing special with this. You're not going to see this with the price and volume action. You're not going to see this in any book saying, this is what you want to look for. There you go. MasterCard starting to push through the 200-day. Down on heavy volume. Down on really heavy volume. Little up volume here and a little up volume here. Slow here. It's pushing back through the 200-day. It's tougher though. Be aware, there's some serious selling in this, okay? This is not clean and simple, all right? Microsoft, see that base? That's clean and simple. And that's a trend, and we're letting it work. It's just working for us. It's fine, fine. Clean and simple pays. Netflix, entry here, and it's just trending. We've sold some to lock in profits up here. We're in great shape. There's no really clean entry here. I do like, though, that it's bounced off the 21-day and the 8 EMA on a pickup in volume. That's good to see. Been a great trend. NVDA, entry down here on the higher low setup. See this low here and this low? That's a higher low. First entry right there. Right there. Long base breakout. Second entry right there. Volume pickup through there. And it's, again, you bought it down lower and you added and running. Those are game changers right there. This is the 8-period exponential moving average. We're going to walk up the 8. That's power. You sold some into strength, in great shape. Square. Don't overthink it. There's nothing here. Move on. We have a limited amount of money. We have a limited amount of time. Why don't we look for the best of the best? And at this point in time, that's not it. Someday it probably will be. But right now, no. Tesla, buy right there. And that was good for close to over 400 points, folks. Right there. Sold some into strength, sold more when it was dropping, and now we're just going to let it work and see what it can do. Fell on fairly heavy volume here, rallied back up on good volume, but less than it fell on. Just chopping around here a little bit. We'll have to watch this and see what happens. Needs to push through here, and preferably push through here on really heavy volume. Until it does, we just leave it alone. It's that simple. We don't have to force it. Clean and simple pays the best. Twitter. The tweets ain't working, team. That's just, there it is. There's nothing there. Visa. Lifting, but nothing. Want to see something intriguing? Here's MasterCard. Pushing through the 200-day. Here's Visa. Doing nothing. MasterCard better. There's nothing here. Don't mess with it. Just leave it alone. Someday it'll probably be good, but at this point in time, there's better places to put your money. It's that simple. That's the MAXLIST. It's a great overview of the big name stocks.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like. Maybe hit that subscribe button. We come up with new content nearly every day. Also, check out the videos on the right. YouTube recommends the one on the top, and the bottom one is something we thought you might enjoy. See you next time.